So I usually bring this up to Lee. I remember I was watching a Breakfast Club interview with Salam Remney, and he was talking about venues. The reason what dictates the direction of the music is like how you was talking about, Matt, where people listen to or consume music. Like a lot of it is strip club music. You know what I'm saying? Or just club music. Like at a time, there were different types of venues. You know, whether it be the park or hip hop clubs where people was breakdancing and graffitiing. You know what I'm saying? Like, and with the shutdown of like some of the major venues, whether in New York or major cities, it changed the landscape of the sound because of where you're consuming it. Like thought provoking music is not coming on. I was just in Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? I was just in Atlanta. I didn't want to hear no up north music the whole time I was there. And if anybody knows me, I love my boom bap. I love my grimy, dusty music. You know what I'm saying? Out there, I didn't. I only wanted to hear some, whatever. You know what I mean? Like Ti and Migos, and I mean I like Migos anyway, but that's all I wanted to hear. There is no venue for thought provoking or somber or think or even grimy. I mean, boots, winter, like there's no vibe for that.
But
That no more.
can I
But what's
touch on
funny
something
though,
though? Yeah.
right before you start, but what's funny though, like when I went to England, my cousins over there, like they all love New York music. They didn't like when I was there, and like the TIs and the certain people were popping. They was like, we don't want none of that. When Little John and they was like, we don't want that. Like we want Dipset, we want Wu-Tang, that's what we like out here. I don't know if that got to do with the weather, because if y'all know anything about England weather, you know what I'm saying? But
No,
yeah.
but to co-sign what you say, I was born out there, so they're purists. I remember, you know what I mean. I remember, I got my Wu leather, went over there and sold it for mad bread, like mad bread, because they like, you don't know how much these dudes was wanted to, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, you can get an autograph from Meth for me. I'm like, huh? He's down the block. Like, you know what I'm saying? He's a good dude. He's right down the block. Like, you know what I mean? So I'm just like, you guys there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, it blacked out.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm just saying, like, it's just crazy because like there's certain countries, and I see, like, made a good point. Drake is starting to influence England. So watch the sound start that certain sounds start to get embraced. You know what I'm saying? Some people over there call them culture vultures. Other people love them. You know what I'm saying? But guess what? That sound, that traditional New York sound. And let me just like bring it further on. Like Meek Mills is in an interesting niche. Philly is very close to New York, and it's certain things I noticed. Like if you listen to trap music, it's played in double time. The average tempos is 64, 60, in their 60s, right? Listen to Meek's music. It's trap, but it's sped up. So it has the elements. It has some type of southern elements, but it also has a East Coast up north vibe to it.
Basically, like what Fat Joe been doing.
It's sort of like fusion. Yes, to me, like, you know what I'm saying? I think it's it's a fusion sound where yes, he can go and do the mega slow stuff, but that if you listen to Bobby Shmurda, you listen to what's his name again? Yeah, God bless you.
I know. I gotta sign off.
Yeah. All right, man. Thank you. Appreciate it. I'll hit you up later on.
All
right, man. Yeah.
Yeah, man. But yeah, I mean that sound is, it's I don't think it has to be, you gotta do like we were talking about that day. You have to do a trap. Everything gotta be the trap element. It gotta be 60-something beats per minute. And you could play around with it. If you want to go full trap, go for it. Like, you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
But I don't think you gotta stay in a box, man. Do what makes you happy. If that's what you like your audience, right, Rigz?
Mm-hmm.
If dudes like, the people that are consuming your music and like your music, and they're like, we like that traditional sound. You know what I'm saying? We like your raps, but we like this sound. Like if those are the people that's your core audience is saying that's what, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But then you have to say to yourself, am I changing who I am just to please, you know what I mean? Do you do music for the people, or do you do music for yourself? And you know, are you an extent? It's that gamble. You know what I mean? It's
that
that
dilemma.
juggle.
That's that dilemma with artists. It's like I want to do it for me, but I gotta, you know what I mean? If I'm trying to stay relevant or stay afloat or keep people interested, I can't just be fully selfish and just do it for me. But then, like I said, some people may not like that new coat on you. You know what I'm saying? Or you might just have to find another way to adapt within your niche and update it somehow. You know what I'm saying? So that's the dilemma, especially when you care, because it like there's always this thing about the art. You know what I'm saying? And the art doesn't mean you have to stay old or anything like that, but you know, they're so about the art that comes first before the marketing or the market. You know what I'm saying? And they'll sacrifice the market for their vision of the art. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like that juggle, you know what I'm saying? It's hard. Like for me, I have to, personally speaking,
y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. You was gone?
Yeah, his power went out for a second.
Yeah, power went out, man. Atlanta thunderstorm, yo.
You know what I'm saying? Like for me, I'm about the art first, but I'm not mad at the market and the business either. Like, but I would prefer to ghostwrite or something, or create a whole album for somebody else that they never actually made. I could be behind it 100%. You know what I mean? And it'll sound like Iggy Azalea or something. You know, and I'll actually like it, but I just don't think it fits me personally. You know, but I like to experiment. You know, like 06, 07, remember stuff we was doing wasn't like boom bap grimy like that. We was playing with different sounds and different timings, and everything was about flow. Yo, what flow could you do to this? Come up with a different flow.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? So even remember we was doing them slow beats 03, 04. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, it's hard, got the groove, 65. Like so I like the stuff now, like the Black Boy JBs and the stuff they rapping over. Like I like that, you know what I'm saying? The OT Genesis and all that.
Yeah, I like OT. He's dope.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I like those.
Look, Compton dudes, right?
Yeah. But
sound like Atlanta, right? That's what I'm saying, man. You know, what everybody think is Atlanta ain't Atlanta.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just hip hop. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It ain't West Coast. It ain't that. You know what I'm saying? I think it's just hip hop. But just to, you know.
Cause when you listen to like Eazy-E's old stuff, it sound like stuff out now.
Right.
You know what? It's funny that you said that. I think, like I touched on before, it's tempos, man. Tempos, bro. Like a lot of things, like if you listen to where like certain drums hit in a certain record, it gives you a certain feel. You know what I'm saying? So I'm listening. I'm like, wow, like I'm point out some of the Bay Area type of stuff, right? And you hear, no Master P, that Migos joint, and I'm like, the groove of that is a Bay Area groove. Like I don't know who did the beat. I don't know.
I think it was Mustard, if I'm correct. DJ
it was Mustard. It makes sense then. Yeah, it makes sense because how that. Yeah, it has the elements, but it's faster. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It has the same elements,
yeah,
but it's quicker. So again, those tempos, like, you know, it's that groove, like that slow. Remember, we was hitting like Rigz, like 79 beats per minute, 81, and you were like, yo, you see how that's dragging, but it's in the pocket.
Yeah.
You know, now dudes is doing 64 beats per minute, but it's in double time. You know what I'm saying? 62, 61.
So it's like 120, yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I just made a trap joint. I think it's like 125 or something. You know, this joint I just did. And it's hard. I'm gonna rap over it too. Yo.
But it's let me ask you, since you like I'm in New York, I'm in New York, Rigz is in New York. Un's in Atlanta, New York producer in Atlanta. How's the transition? Like, how do you stay motivated musically? Have you adapted your sound, or you purists? You gonna put on the shell toes and be like, nah, we ain't doing that. What you talk about?
Well, see, this is the funny thing, right? Like, of course, I didn't even get, I didn't say everything because I would have been trying to give a long story about where I came from, where I got to. I just wanted to give the intro, of how I started music. But if you even look on my Instagram page, right, I made mention that I've been doing South music. When I say I've been doing South music, like early 2000, because I always liked South music. One of my favorite rappers was Scarface. So the whole Ghetto Boys sound, they had the gumbo funk stuff, that their producers used to do. So I kind of always adapted to their sound in terms of how it evolved. So I was always like following what they do. So when I started producing, it influenced me to do everything. Because remember, even in New York, like you just said, I'm a New York producer in Atlanta, but in New York, I was a New York producer doing West Coast sound.
Facts, that's true.
Right?
Yeah.
A lot of people know me to do a lot of West Coast beat. And of course, New York beats was a given for me. The reason for that is because I always liked it all of hip hop. So I used to do West Coast beat. I did New York beat and I did South beat. It wasn't like the trap as it sounded like now, but point is to say, I've always just adapted to hip hop because I listen to it all. So just like now, right? Yes, there was a point when dudes didn't understand the evolution. Like, he was like, what is this trash? Like, everybody thought Soulja Boy's stuff was trash and the artist that was coming out right after him, right? But that was just the transition. And then more producers came in, it started sounding better. So I was with that. So that is to say, I genuinely just go listen to artists that's from the South. And to me, it's not a big thing because a lot of what people say is the South ain't nothing but an 808 clap and, and 808 snare. So in reality, take that element away. It's just hip hop beats that's always been around. The synth's been around, right? Nothing but a G thing had a synth sound in it. One of the main elements that made that beat is a synth. That's a synth. So synth ain't nothing new. Matter of fact, 808 sound kicks and claps. That was the first beats Dr. Dre were using.
That's what I was saying.
That's
so
true.
That's nothing new. So if you want to just say, of course, we can say what's trap in Atlanta, but for me, I always just been a student of the game, so to speak. So I always just adapted everything and do it. I did a lot of West Coast stuff, right? I did a lot of New York stuff. So the South stuff, I was doing those beats back in I kid you not, back in like 2002, 2003, with the claps. I can pull them up and play them, right? So to me, of course, at some point you didn't understand some of the new stuff. So I was like, crap, the hell is this? Right? And then I had to say, okay, because you and I spoke about a lot of this, Lee, right? Saying how we can just take the sound, still do New York beats, and just put the 808 kick and claps under it. It's gonna sound like it's South, but it's really the same beats that do.
That's what Meek did.
Right. It's the same thing. So in reality, people label it, but it's really just hip hop, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But of course, let's play the label
Give
game.
them, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Let's play the label game. It was an easy transition for me because, like I said, I always just been the kind of person that would just do all genres. When I was doing a lot of the New York stuff, I would just make a beat, and I'm like, wait a minute, this is better R&B. And I was never an R&B producer. Next thing you know, I'm making R&B beats, and I'm selling it to R&B cats.
Right.
Yo, but I'm glad you said that. If you check how a lot of I'm not going to typecast them, but a lot of the music now, even in the Southern music, is changing. You hear the chord progressions. It's almost like rapping over an R&B beat. And I'm like, wow.
It is.
It's I'm like, wow, like this is crazy right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, yo, this is like, it's again, it's always transitioning. Like, we listen to G Unit in the 2000s, and then you go and you check out Migos. My phone low battery. So yeah, man. But when you like listen to the music, man, like I'm not a hater. Like I'm not like when I started getting up on the South stuff, going to Atlanta and listening, and I'm like, yo, some of it feels right. it's like I understand why people like this. Like
Right.
it's so easy to be like, yo, all that joint is trash, blah blah blah. Because I'm from up here. But now, if you listen to certain artists, you like, I like the Migos. I can never hate on them. I think they dope. You know what I'm saying? I like certain artists. I like T.I. I think he's dope. You know what I'm saying? And he can really rap. So I think from coming from a perspective of the art form, and I think that's where we get caught up. Like people are so purist when it comes to art. That's not it. You know what I'm saying? Yo, you know what I mean? But when you hear, how like certain artists I love Big Crit. I think he's dope. Like, you know what I'm saying? Soulful samples. His music got texture to it. It has weight to it. You know, like I think, like I said, I don't hate on the young boys, but I would hope that, the artists that they look up to really steer them in a way like you can still be creative in your art. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't have to be like just making sound effects. That's the record. Like, you know what I'm saying? The record is the sound effect. Like, you know what I mean? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that is the new art. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I was saying that to somebody.
I'm going to put the clap where the drum is and the drum where the clap is, and that's the new art. There's no structure to this.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, I mean, everything
Is that
goes.
where we going?
That's the first rule of music. There's no rules. Some people would disagree with that, though.
All right, so if I make a beat that's totally like it's the loop starts at the 7th bar, like, and the dude raps on it, and that's it.
We've seen crazier things happen.
Yo, there's a song there's a song out right now. I heard it, right, and this dude was rapping like this, with words, but it sounded just stupid. Then I kept, I forgot his name. It's like a recent song, right? I'm like, this just sounds dumb. This dude, like, why is he rapping this way, right? This is trash. But then again, I'll play the playlist that it was included on, like I think it was Apple Music. And then I said, wait a minute, this is actually good. This dude is an artist. He's an artist. Meaning, what he did was not saying, let me rap because that's what a rap fan expect to hear. He said, let me just express a particular flow a certain way. And I kid you not, it's catchy because, look, that's the reason why it's in rotation.
Bro, I predicted this. I said dudes are just gonna not rap at all. There's not gonna be words. It's gonna be sounds. And on what's the name's new album, Tyler the Creator, somebody kind of did something like that. Right. You know what I mean? And in the discussion, a man said, "Yo, it's like scatting back in the day. Dudes wasn't saying words; they was just scatting. You know what I'm saying? And it was a thing. Well, as much as things change, they stay the same."